They call this game Layers of Fear because, like a succulent onion, the more layers you peel away, the more you want to cry, and the easier it is to jam up your stank little booty hole for that all-important boost of testosterone first thing in the morning. In this interactive house of leaves, where the walls shift around like my testicle bag after stepping out of a hot shower and placing it on an open windowsill to cool, you play as a humble hentai artist with a wooden leg named Jim. What's the name of his other leg, you ask? None of your goddamn business, you Mary Poppins loving fuck. And while his wooden leg is a little too short, which causes him to walk all hobbity-bobbity like most women do when I get done with them, having that leg askew probably makes his dick look bigger by way of optical illusion, though it's not all that bad. Now I know what most of you are thinking. EmptyHero, you wonderful, beautiful, molten hot mound of mahogany man molasses. You don't like walking simulators. You're going to tell us that this game stinks. Well, while Layers of Fear is indeed a combat-devoid simulator of stanky leg walking, it's a walking simulator with style. A pimp walking simulator, if you will. Layers cashes in on the unfulfilled promises of the Silent Hill PT Tech demo, but without the pretentious booty hole stank of Hideo Kojima's convoluted plagiarizations. I mean references to movies and TV shows from the 80s overly complicating the plot. This House of Mirrors, located smack dab in the middle of Lovecraft country, features some fairly okay puzzles. Nothing particularly challenging or mind-bending, but just okay. And some truly astounding visual effects. The gorgeous layout of the protagonist's Victorian manor lulls the player into a sense of comfort in order to make the sudden transitions and uncanny alterations that much more disturbing. This technique was previously utilized in Silent Hill games, where the player would explore the normal, harmless versions of an area before activating the Detroit After Dark mode, where everything is made of barbed wire and foreskins. Though to be honest, not all of these gimmicks pan out as the developers intended. The section featuring a perpetual future Democratic voter machine made me laugh instead of recoil. If I wanted to have fruits tossed at me, I'd go to Saudi Arabia during Gay Pride Week and stand at the base of a skyscraper, and the protagonist's passive-aggressive wife, who leaves sticky notes all around the fucking place like Double D's parents, occasionally pops up uninvited, slaps you in the face with her dick, and causes you to pass out like a woman who foolishly accepted a free drink from me. I get that she was a little burned up in the prologue after the protagonist fucked her so hard that the bed melted, but if I wanted to walk around an untidy house that I can't afford while a woman covered in bruises angrily shakes her head at me, I would not have tragically lost my first wife to that mysterious boating accident where she shot herself in the back of the head 2 times, wrapped a boat anchor chain around her testifying in court against me bitch mouth, and fell overboard. At first, I didn't get why the protagonist of Layers of Fear was so mean to his wife, until I looked around and realized that the house was a fucking mess, and she probably got what she deserved for being such a lazy housewife. And to be perfectly honest, in real life, this woman wouldn't have presented me any problem. I'd slap that shaky bitch so hard her pussy lips would clap midair, and she'd land on her feet with a broom in one hand and a frying pan in the other. As jittery in the clitory as she is, scrubbing a floor or some crockware would have been super easy for her and a positive outlet for her energy. I mean, this bitch so shaky, she squats on bedposts instead of vibrators, yet achieves the same effect. And to her, Michael J. Fox appears completely stationary. Now, I won't spoil what happens towards the end of Layers of Fear, because as I said, the visual effects and writing are pretty much all this game has going for it. So before we get to the next review, let's take a moment to discuss the 1 hour long DLC chapter Inheritance. At times, This downloadable content annoyed me, because the camera would shift into Mr. Magoo accidentally performing abortions while incorrectly assuming he was actually playing a game of pool mode, and I couldn't see an inch beyond my face. But then, I realized that the protagonist's face was actually covered in a drab dab of her dad's gonad salad, and my respect for the DLC grew 10 penile sizes. The childish, at times fantastic scenery seemed more entertaining than frightening, and I wrongly assumed that the protagonist was going crazy, until I realized that this is just how women see the world the moment things begin to become even the slightest bit difficult. And as nice as this brief epilogue to the main campaign was, the terrible 10-year-old anime boy-sounding voice of the main character completely ruined my boner. Bitch, you ain't Naruto. Spit out that file of your father's felonious phallus phlegm and speak like a lady. At the very least, this hallucinatory cat, like me in an Indonesian laundromat back room, received a happy ending thanks to the efforts of a mentally ill fat girl. And for that much, we should all be thankful.